retirement fund? If so, is the government thinking about stealing part of your retirement bill to pay its own bills? Sound a bit outrageous? Well, could happen. The feds are desperate to bail themselves out of a $15 trillion of debt. And now they're eyeing your 401k to do it. Dennis Neal is fresh off his debut as the co-anchor of the noon hour of Markets Now on the Fox Business Network, and he joins us. We dragged him off the Fox Business Network back to the Fox News Channel just for tonight. Nice to see you, Dennis, and congratulations.
Thanks, Greta. Nice to be here.
Okay, Dennis, first of all, it's the 401 retirement fund created about 1970 or 1980. The whole idea was so people could set some money aside for their old age, their golden years. So what's the plan now? The government's desperate for money, so now
right. So the government's looking around. What we're going to do, we need to raise revenue because we've got this $15 trillion debt we've got to reduce. Hey, there's $18 trillion locked away inside retirement funds. And what we do is we let Americans, when they put $15,000 in a year into a retirement fund, a 401k, we let them not pay any taxes on those earnings. We give them a big deduction. It costs us, the government, $200 billion a year that we could be collecting if we started taxing all of those contributions to 401ks. So there's two different plans. What this really is, Greta, is it's a stealth tax on all of us, not just on the top 1%. But there's two big plans. Number one, right now you can deduct up to $50,000 that employers and employees together put into a retirement fund. Let's cut that deduction to $20,000, a 60% reduction, and voila, you're going to bring in more money because you tax it. Now, here's the other proposal. Let's end all tax deductions entirely for all money that you put into your 401k, the deduction for your employer or for yourself. And let's then give you an 18% tax credit inside your retirement account so that when you have to pay taxes 20, 30, 40 years later, you'll have that as a credit to reduce some of your taxes. The problem there is it lets government collect now, upfront from you, money ahead of time. Then you, years later, will hope 40 years from now to get your tax break when you finally get it, although can you even trust it? So overall, net, with that second proposal, I believe it is, the government will collect some $438 billion extra, I'm guessing over a 10-year period or something, and so that would be a tax increase on all of us.
You know, though, there's something profoundly pathetic about this. The government is so desperate for money that it's going around trying to think of ways, promises it made before, which is how 401k would be handled. They're now trying to come up with a way so they can skim it and get some more cash instead of revving up the economy and being good stewards of the economy, which is what they should have been doing. Instead of letting what's happened to the economy happen, they let those derivatives go unregulated for so long that sunk the housing crisis while they all looked the other way. They're even having lavish parties at the GSA looking the other way, billions of dollars in fraud on these government contracts. And so what do? They turn to the American people who have been saving their money, following the rules, doing precisely the way the government set up. So now they make it all unstable. And there's nothing that will poison the economy more than when there's no certainty and instability now in their savings. So, you know, go figure. They're going out of their way to mess it up.
Well, expert groups already are upset about this plan, and they say it would practically destroy savings in America. And they say that even low-income people, you know, 75% of full-time workers in this country are covered by these kinds of retirement plans that allow you tax deductions. And it says even the lowest-income people in the smallest retirement plans could end up with 40% less money in their retirement plans. Now, a quick anecdote. You know, years ago, you used to get a deduction of $2,000 a year when you put in that little IRA. And then they changed the rules. And they said, you know what, if you're in a certain income bracket or in a certain thing, you can't do that anymore. I stopped putting the $2,000 a year into the IRA because I couldn't take it off my taxes. Well, I saved less because they changed that rule, and now they're contemplating it. On the other hand, Greta, you know, we need money, right? But we should be talking about how to unlock the economy to make it grow.
Stop the parties. Stop the parties. Stop paying for the SEC to download porn so we have to pay for those lawyers while they're busy downloading porn. I mean, why don't they just clean up the government? Why don't they just do their job instead of going off to Americans and trying to skim off of the things that the Americans have saved? I mean, there's lots of waste and fraud. If they want money, there's lots of ways to get this money, but they never look at they never perform their jobs. And so what they want to do now is the Americans who were prudent enough to put money away, there are now proposals to try to skim it. You know, that's just beyond me.
Yeah, well, I'd say basically what you said.
Tell me this, who's pushing this, by the way?
You know, here's the thing. You've got a blue ribbon commission, and that's what government always does. You appoint a blue ribbon commission to look at stuff, and so they come up with a whole bunch of proposals. Now, this arose in the House today, a committee hearing, and that's Republican-dominated. And so a friend of mine tonight was wondering, do you think this is a plot by the Obama administration to get the Republicans to take up responsible consideration of whatever proposal? We should look at every possibility, and then the Democrats can blast them in ads saying, look, they want to tax your retirement contributions.
I don't know. Well, you know, the Americans, this is their money. They saved it, and shame on the federal government because they're so pathetic they can't pay their own bills. So now they're going to go back to the people who can save and be prudent and set aside. Anyway, Dennis, thank you. Congratulations for the new show.
Thank you so much.